everybody, and welcome back to episode 4 of Zawa Survival. Remember to sit back, relax, and enjoy, and we'll get into the video. Now, as you can probably tell from the title and the thumbnail, the exhibit that we're going to be working on today is the African wild dog one, which I'm super excited about. However, there is a problem. The only wild dog at the moment that we have is a plushie. But all that's going to change since we're going to go out and find a couple of wild dogs. But before we do that, I do want to show you the work that I've done on the farming area since the last episode. And this is what it's looking like now. I've added in some quartz flooring, some smooth stone edging, added in a couple of potted plants. We've actually started filling up these chests, as you can see. Got a lot of iron. This iron farm has been working amazingly. Over here we've got chests upon chests full of items, kelp, bamboo, sugarcane, and again we've got the paths going all the way along there. And I really like how it's turned out. But enough of that, let's go find ourselves some wild dogs. Now, look at what we've come across. You can understand why I really want to build an exhibit with these. They just look so cool. And, got a friend over there as well, because I really want to get a pack of them in the exhibit. Now, why are they turning away from me? Hello! So, let me just grab these, and I'll see if I can find a few more as well. Now, I may have gone slightly overboard with catching African wild dogs, but I think we've got a decent amount here. Hello, chicken. But for all these wild dogs, we're going to need a big exhibit to put them in, and that is why I have laid an area out just over here, just a wee bit away from the flamingo exhibit, which we did in episode 2 if you haven't already checked that out. And I think this is going to be a really nice place for the African wild dogs. I think we can do something really cool with this area. The reason I built it here was because I thought we could have a bit of a pond in the bottom here. We could maybe have like some viewing glass along here, which I think will look really cool. And then we can build some cliffs and caves into this hillside here, where they can have their dens and things like that, which I think will be really cool. And then the rest of it can be sort of like a mesa-y sort of African savanna area, which I think will look really nice. So that's the sort of plan, and that means I've got to get quite a few materials for it. So I think the first thing to do is to probably lay out a bit of a block palette. I think that'll be really useful. So I guess that means I've probably better go out and collect a few blocks that we can use in here. So that's going to be a bit of work for me, but I'll see you when I get back. Now, I know the block palette behind me looks pretty extreme, but let me just break it down for you. It's not as bad as it looks. So, first of all, you've got all the types of stone that you have, stone, andesite, rocky stone and cobblestone. They're the same sort of things that we used over here on the cliff section, just over there, so they'll look really good. Then we've got the grassy area, like some coarse dirt, some podzol, path blocks, and just regular grass. All those are normal. And then all the way along here, this is where it starts to get a bit interesting. So to transition it, we've got a bit of mulch, some oak mulch, some acacia mulch. I think they just match really well together. Might put another block in between there just to transition it slightly nicer. But after that, we're going on to all these reddy orange blocks. So first of all, we've got this red stone, which I think just looks so nice. Then obviously we've got all the red sandstones, red sands, smooth red sandstone. And then we go on to some terracotta, which I want to put a couple of spikes in here, which I think will just look really nice. So we've got some orange terracotta to blend it in with these, we've got some normal terracotta, and we've got some red, just to finish off those peaks and make it pop. But before we can start putting down any terrain at all, we've got to put in the border for this. So I think that's going to be a cobblestone job, some cobblestone bricks, or just some regular stone bricks, and we can just put the boundary in. And after that we can start terraforming, and then we can start changing what the ground looks like. So I'll be back when all the cobblestone boundaries are put in. Now, I've got the cobblestone bricks in, but I'm not really sure if I like them yet. But we'll just get on and start doing the terraforming. So, one of the things I want to do is sort of dig down this end ever so slightly, and I also want to take down this hill and just make it a bit of a slope down rather than a slope up. On this side, I think I'm just going to make the curve a bit further round, just so that all here it's like a 3 block high until the wall, which will be pretty nice, and I'll just sort of gradient it down so that this again is like a 3-block high wall. So the ground level here, the highest it'll be is about this level, not into the ground, but on this level that I'm standing on, and I just think it'll look really good. And since it's just digging dirt, which I don't think will be particularly interesting, I'm not going to bore you with a time lapse or a montage or anything like that. I'm just going to go straight forward and do some digging. Sound good? Okay, let's go! And we are back, and this is what it's looking like, and I really like how it's looking. So again, it's sloping down here. I really want to have a bit of a pond in here, which I think will just look really good. We've got a bit of a hill, another pond in here, and then we have the sloping hill up here, all the way up to the top, where we're going to have one more final pond just in here. And then on the wall back here, we're going to have all the cliffs and caves going into it, which I think will look really nice. So that's the plan. I guess what we should probably do is start changing out the flooring bit by bit. But I think I'm going to start focusing on these little ponds first, get the flooring for these done, and then we can fill them up with water, and then we can start expanding from there, just changing the terrain. So let me go get some blocks, which I think will look good, and I think we might start on this one over here, since it's just a bit bigger and easier to work with. So I'm going to get some blocks that I think will look good, and then we can start placing some stuff down. So for this pond, we're going to use a mixture of sand, some gravel, and I'll put some pods all around the outside as a sort of like muddy grass. Then we're also going to use some coarse dirt and obviously some mud. I think it'll just look really good. So I guess we should probably start scattering this around, just putting some patches in here and there. And yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it. Now I'm going to start adding in some patches of sand. Again, just here and there. Though I think these patches will be slightly bigger than the gravel ones, just because there's usually a bit more sand than gravel in the bottom of these pools. Now I want to add in a mixture of mud and coarse dirt. Now that all the types of blocks are in, and I actually think it looks really nice with all this variation, we can put in the water, and oh no, done. Okay, but other than that annoying zombie trying to kill me, I will just go get some water buckets and we can start filling this in. And that's all the water in. And I have gone and just added a few small plants dotted around. And I think it just brings it all to life and I really like how it looks. So I guess this block combination works, which means I do have to put it in here and up on top of the hill. So that's going to take a while. So I won't bother doing a montage or anything like that because it's probably going to be a bit boring and repetitive from what you just saw there. So I'll just get on with it and build those other 2 ponds. And now that both those ponds are in, I really like how this exhibit is turning out. I really just like how it's looking and the layout of it all. But before we get on with any more of this exhibit, there is an event happening at spawn. So let's go over there and see what's happening. So over here at spawn, there's a headhunt happening. So, headhunt. Basically, we've got to find as many of these plushies as we can. And they're all around this spawn. So they're not outside of the mountain around spawn. And they are all places that we can walk to. And there's a really good prize of 2 snow leopards, 20k, and 3 crate keys, which is really cool. So these are the plushies that we're looking for. And yeah, basically we've got to look around and see how many of these plushie heads that we can find. So I guess it's going to get into a plushie hunt. So I think we can probably jump into a montage for this. Okay, let's go! There's the first one, here's the second one, and the third one. Here's another one, I've lost count at this point. And this sneaky one behind the wall. And another one. And a sneaky one under the hut. This isn't a beefhead, it's a snail. And another one. How many is that, like 10 now? One behind the waterfall. And a cheeky little one under the bridge. And another one that I almost missed. Did I see this before? And here's one just above the crates. And a little cheeky one hidden behind the pipe. just one under this overhang, and one just behind this chair and anvil. Oh, I almost missed this one. Another one under the stairs, one in the light up there. Oh, just one behind the nether portal, and another one behind the resource world portal. Here's another one under the penguin's butt, and another one on top of the roof. So, after that headhunt, I came back and I started experimenting, as you can see from this red rock, and let me just put it blankly, it looks pretty terrible. So, we're going to scrap that idea, but not completely, since I still think we can have a bit of a cliff in the back, just maybe not out of this red rock. I think just some regular stone, like we did over there in the flamingo exhibit, will just look really nice. So, let me take all this red rock down. So, now that we've got a clean slate, we can start doing some interesting things to this area, and turning it into more of a cliff than a grassy dirt slope. So, one of the first things I want to do is add a bit of a ledge going around the bottom. And I think this will be a really good level to do it on because there's already a bit of a ledge going round, just this one here. So I think we can probably take our shovel and start to just carve this out a bit, just to make it a bit wider so the African dogs can easily walk along it. And it'll probably go most of the way around till about there. And I think that'll look pretty good. And then we can accentuate it with a smaller cliff around the bottom, maybe a few rocky outcrops, and there we will use some orange rock. So I think this will look really good, but let me just keep going with my shovel and we can continue to carve some of this dirt out. Now, I haven't even started putting in the stairs or slabs, and it's already looking really cool and a lot better than what the orange cliff was going to look like. But I think now, before we do any more detailing, I do want to get the caves in. So we're going to have one cave just over there in that pocket, then we're going to have another one bang in the middle like a big cave in there, and then we're going to have a slightly smaller one off to the side there. And I think it'll just look really, really nice. So I guess that means I should probably go in there and start mining some blocks out. First cave is now in, and I think it just looks really, really cool. So now on to the other two. So now it's time to go in with some slabs and stairs of some andesite, stone and cobblestone, and just make this look really, really good. I'm also going to do the bottom crag at the same time, and I'll do some stuff above. So let's just jump straight into a time lapse. Let's go! All that we've got to do is just add in a few heat lamps, just here and there, just to keep the place warm for the African dogs. I do want to have quite a few in this big cave, just because, again, how big it is. And at some point, not now, I do want to have a tunnel which you can walk through, which goes all the way around behind, and so you can see the African dogs from inside the caves as well, which I think would be really, really cool. But we won't do that at the moment, we'll just get the African dogs in and finish up this exhibit. So, just to give the main land area a bit of texture, I'm just going to scatter around some coarse dirt, some podzol, and I'm also going to use my shovel to make some patches of path blocks as well, which I think will look really, really good. So I'll get on and just start placing these patches. Now that all the texture in the land is in, and personally I think it just looks really, really nice and just breaks up the landscape a lot, which I think just works really well with the style of this exhibit, I do want to start and put in some red rocks here and there, just to mix it up and change up the colour palette a bit. So we're going to put some small red rocks. I think I might put a bit of a big one there, but then some small ones scattered around. And then we'll put some patches of red sand around them, and I think it'll just look really, really good. And I think this looks really, really nice now. The red rocks really just bring a really nice warm colour to this exhibit, which really adds to the atmosphere. So, I think it looks really good already, but we've got all these extra things such as eucalyptus, Johnson grass, bit of prairie grass, a couple of prickly pears, and then of course some acacia saplings, and some of these leaves which I can't pronounce. And we've also got a few more reeds to put around the ponds. So, I guess we should probably jump into a time lapse of putting all the plants in then. Okay, let's go! So, now that all this beautiful vegetation is in, and I really think it just brings the place to life, I really just love how it looks. We do have to put in all the enrichment items for the African wild dogs. So, the first things that we're going to put in are the sprinklers. So, I'm just going to put them around. We only have 3 at the moment. And we already have some residents in the African wild dog exhibit. These wandered in by accident. But we'll just put these around, just so that they've got a bit of enrichment. And then the next thing I want to put in is these tire swings. So I'm going to hang them off this tree, just like so. So here's a tire swing, and we're going to put one more in, just up the back I think. I think that'll look nice. Now, I want to add in some scratching posts. So I think I'm just going to put one a bit further up the back here. Just here I think will look good. And we're going to put a cap on the top with this trapdoor. Just like so. And that is one scratching post. I think I might dot another couple around here, which will just look really nice. Just like so. And that's all the scratching posts in. And now we can put the scented balls in. But I've got 2 here, and they do have motion. If you kick them, they do move, which is really cool for the African wild dogs. So I'm just going to place one down there and one up here, just so they can play with them. And that's pretty much this exhibit ready to have African wild dogs in. However, there is a slight problem, and that is we don't have any fences to keep them in. So I do need to go and get some fences, but I do want to have a glass window here. I think it'll just look really nice. So I'm going to get some glass, some logs as a bit of a frame, and of course the rope fencing. So I'll be back when I've got that. So I've now got some logs, just some regular acacia logs, and some exhibit glass panes, and I'll just start making the frame for the window. I did add in some food and water bowls just around the place because I forgot to put them in before. So I'll just start making the frame, just building it up, and then we can put the glass in. And the final glass panes, and this is looking really nice. I do want to have some benches in here, just so that people can look into it and sit down at the same time, but other than that, it's really, really nice. Now, I guess it's time to put in the rope fences. So that basically means I've just got to go around this whole area, just putting these rope fences in. So I'll be back when I've put all these in. And we are back! And all the fences are in the same style as the flamingo exhibit, and I even have the glass round here in. Plus I've added a few benches, however I haven't done any of the paving round here, or the paths. Just because I kind of want to do those off camera because they're probably going to be very boring, and I do want to just get those African wild dogs in. So I'll probably do that after the video is live, but for now, let's just get the dogs in. So for these dogs, I do want name suggestions. At the moment, I've only got some tags which don't have a name on them, but I do want you in the comments to tell me either names or suggestions for themes for names, because I think you'll probably have much better ideas than I do. But in the meantime, we'll just put these tags on, and I do have this shulker box full of African wild dogs. So, I think it's probably time to get into a bit of a montage of, I guess, putting the African wild dogs in and tagging them. So, I think, let's just get into one final montage. Let's go! First one, second one, third one, fourth one, and it's a baby. Fifth one, sixth one, seventh one, eighth one, ninth one, and it's another baby. 10th one, 11th, 12th, 13th, and last but not least, 14. I have to admit that I didn't use all the African wild dogs. I did try it with all of them, but I just had to take 9 out, just because the whole 23 was a bit too much. But we still have 14 wild dogs in here, and I still think it looks really cool. It looks a lot less crowded, and they've got a lot more space to roam around. So I really like how it looks. And it even looks really cool from the viewing gallery. We've already got a couple of African wild dogs coming up to the glass. But now it's got to the end of the episode. Remember, if you have any name suggestions for these African wild dogs, please let me know down in the comments below. And in the comments below, let me know what you think of the exhibit. I really like to see your feedback on these sort of things, so just type down in there what your opinions are on this exhibit. So I will see you in the next one. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!